Grinders, it is your boy Dusty Truth back on the study grind. Today's video, I'm giving away 1 month pro membership to GTO Labs. They hooked me up with a couple giveaways, so we've already gave away 2. I have 1 more to give away. So this is the website. So this is a training site. If you didn't know, has tons of options here. These are coaching videos that just came out recently. I think they do on average about 2 to 3 a week. So one came out yesterday. 2 days on July 1st. Today is July the 5th. So you can see that one came on the 1st, the 2nd, the 5th. This one here from Nikki P here was about 3 bets. This video here was super amazing. I really enjoyed it. I haven't watched these other 2 yet, but you can scroll down here. There's tons of videos on anything to do with poker. There's hand reviews, ICM spots, blind versus blind, live poker reviews, tons of options. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the trainer. That's what most people like to do. They're about to come out with post flop. I think any week now it's going to start seeing post flop. As of right now, the trainer is only pre flop. So you can do final table, study for ICM. You can do short stages in the tournament. I'm going to do just chip EV to get them some hands here. You go to start. And then there is options on the side. If you want to look at your answers during the hand, you could do this and it will show you your answers. I like to have it after the hand. You can have it off. I like to do after so I can go back and find out the bottom of ranges and how far I was off and stuff like that. So I set it up like this. I don't know what starting hands are. I don't think I've ever touched that. It would increase it. I just keep this the smart hands on. The ring mode that's randomizers. So if I turn on ring, at the bottom you see down here, this is like rolling a dice. If you see poker players use a randomizer, so if you get like 99 and you have a hand that you mix in bluffs, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You can base it on whatever you want to perceive the high roll. Usually high rolls are aggression. If you say you had a hand that was like 50-50 and you rolled a 2, you would lean or not use an aggression. I'm gonna have it off for now. And then you have your stats up here. So this is just called, chip EV, which means in the middle, starting of a tournament, you just play what your hand value is worth. So the good thing is to learn is the bet sizing they're suggesting too. You don't just bang them out. And what makes this site different than others is on other sites, as far as I know, I don't use all of them. Usually you just play this spot and a new hand appears. GTO Lab, they let you train every single spot for this entire hand. So you can just press full, and if you want to go, say you didn't want to play the whole hand, you just click up here, you go next solution. So that's kind of a rundown of what the site is. So I'm going to give a giveaway. How you qualify for this is just write giveaway in the comments. Make any comment. Rate hi, Dusty, whatever you want to do. You must follow me. So sub on the YouTube channel. And then today is Saturday. Tomorrow I will do a video of using like a randomizer wheel, and we'll give a giveaway, and then you have to email me. We'll figure that out. You got to DM me. I got to get your email address. So I haven't thought of how to do that on YouTube. I'll give you my Discord link, and then you can DM me. We'll figure that out. So anyways, right now let's go fold. We're just gonna bang these out. So that last hand, I folded King 9. I'm not going to look. I would think the bottom of that is probably start mixing in King 10. Might be King Jack. So if you come down here, if I go to just raises from the last spot, you go to your kings here, and sure enough, King 10 is a 100% raise. So you raise just a min raise is what they're suggesting there. So obviously we're going to raise the ace queen suited. Right here, the ace queen off is going to be a rejam. 6-2 fold, 10-8 from the small blind. This is where I've learned a lot from this trainer. Is I was defending way too wide in the small blind, especially when it comes to ICM. ICM, you're folding tons in the small blind, so it's definitely helped me learn that concept. Here, interesting spot because the original Rainer's behind it. I'm pretty sure this would be a fold, and then here you just snap call. And right off the bat, we're doing good. So now you got to look at these stack. Your ranges change based on how deep we are. Now we're 100 big blinds effective. We're going to fold here. And if you wanted to find out what the first King 8 suited you would raise, once again, it's probably King 10, King 9. So you come down here, go to your King suited. They're saying you mix in some King 7s at a very low frequency. So see, it says 27% of the time you'd raise. So if you use the randomizer here, and your randomizer was like 95, 99, like a 92, whatever you want to do it on the high side, if you wanted to mix that in, you could. I personally wouldn't start using a randomizer this deep, especially early position. How I would do it is more when you're this deep, I would do the randomizer for my 3-bets. So say this guy raised here, and we had like ace 5 suited here, 100 big blinds, and traditionally you wouldn't 3-bet when you're that deep, but you can mix it in here with a randomizer, right? So here I would think your bottom of your range is ace 10. So we'll fold it, and I can quickly look. I'm not going to do it for everyone, but if you look down here, sure enough, ace 10 is 70% of the time you mix in a raise, 30% of the time you fold it. And why it's not always 100% is, a bit of being balanced. I wouldn't know exactly why in this spot, why it wouldn't be just one or the other. But maybe it's based on the blinds behind you and stuff like that. So if this guy was down to like 30 big blinds, that might change things. But we'll just bang this out. Kings, so they're saying 2.5 at this stack depth. This is where I wouldn't stress about the bet size. It is good to learn this, but if you min raise here, it's not horrible. If you went, I wouldn't go 3x, but it's not horrible. Anything above 3x would be definitely wrong. I would usually go 3x the deeper we are here. This wouldn't be horrible, but I think literally I'd be using 2.5 or something under that between min raise and 2.5 is you're definitely in a good spot. So easy decisions here for us. We're just banging off. We haven't got one wrong yet. Here, this deep, you're going to defend, and I'll show you. You're probably defending like 80% of your range. And if you want to look at percentages, I never do. So if we just go to call, so you got to add, you have 50% calls here, and you have 13% raises. So I was off about 65%, call it, give or take. So yet you only had 40% folds. So I was a little off, but I knew the concept of your when you're this deep, single raise pot, you have a lot of garbage down here. This is called like Shitsville, whatever you want to call this. You're not going to defend a lot of your deuces, your weak offsuit hands, but you'll learn you really defend suited hands. Suited hands from the big blind, you're going to really want to defend those at a high volume. So I won't break down too many more spots in the sense of every detail, but I'll just kind of show you. Oh, I went a little fast. This here, I'm actually really surprised, and this could be just on the stack depths. And that's one concept inexperienced players have. They're afraid to go bottom of the ranges when they think like all these stacks can jam over them. So because I'm raising here, that means you have to call off 7 big blinds, potentially 16 you would fold, but this guy's going to jam, and then you're in a tough spot. But you can't, these guys aren't just going to blast off their tournaments, so you can't be afraid to open up based on, the shallow stacks. And if you look at our EV loss, this is like nothing. Like, it's not bad to fold this. So it really isn't criminal, but they're saying it's not optimal. So I can choose this, continue as chosen. I'm going to change the decision. You're not going to just jam it, because you'd be jamming 28 effective because there's bigger stacks behind you. If the 28 wasn't there, say this guy had 6 and this guy had 6, it would be a little interesting, but that would be an ICM jam. It wouldn't be chip EV. You don't do plays like that. So we will follow the raise. This gets interesting behind it. I'm pretty sure you just would fold here, and you'd probably king queen off, maybe. Sorry, I found that very interesting. Yeah, so 50% of the time, 60% of the time you'd call it king queen off. Your suited hands definitely do. But as you can see, most people think you have all these jams here. Right here, if you look at that 16 big blinds, because how strong this range is, they're saying you have no jams behind that, which is very, very interesting. They're saying you flat your pocket pairs and you don't jam them. I would have thought, 9s or 10s around there, you can start jamming. After jacks, maybe you go for value. And then, queens plus, you probably just limp or just flat here, and then hoping someone raises, set up a trap. So that's very interesting. Here we're going to bang them off. So this is a spot where I think most people would just go all in, but you're better off just calling, and then you can see a flop and you can get away from it, even though you have one big blind, because you can also donk out a lot. And this is a very inexperienced player. It really depends on the stakes you're playing. Say you're a $10 player, and the flop comes like, I don't know, 3, 5, 2. If you just donk out there, sometimes you will get a fold here, funny enough. So it shows you up here the decisions. We've only played 4 hands, but because we've done every single spot, we've already done 26 decisions. So here, I think it's a fold. It's very close. The first hand is ace 10 off, so we're right at that cutoff. Now I'm going to pick up the speed a little bit, and you can see the different bet sizes. I don't think this is a call, but this is a little closer, but I think it would be queen jack. I am curious, sorry. I said I wasn't going to. Queen jack off is a call. Look at that, guys. We're finding our bottom. So this is a good spot. So this is learning your 3-bet ranges. You're definitely going to 3-bet. The question is what size. I think you go 9. We're going to be out of position. Some people go too small at these stack depths, especially from over here. If it was over here, it might change a little bit. But from this spot here, we're going to go 9. That is correct. I just want to see if it is optimal. They're saying 100% of the time. So that's good to know. And then king jack off, I would think is a fold, but this is where I got to get better is my 3-betting. If someone 3-bets me, my calling range. I think I'm over folding is what I think. I am correct, but if you look at all your calls, you got to think, when you get 3-bet there, king jack off is slight, 20, they're saying, maybe 25% of the time you can mix in the call. And what that could be is player dependent. So if you know this guy, say he only three bets if you're using a HUD and it's like 5% of the time, then I think you overfold. If this starts creeping up above 10, say it's like at 15, 20, like obviously then you can float extremely wide. You can even click back at them and you have tons of blockers here. So you can maybe mix in a 4-bet. But that would be very, very player dependent in this spot. So if you know your player pool, maybe adjust like that is what I'd say. But are you calling back? They're saying 100% of the time you call back with ace-5 suited, 8-7 suited. So you have these hands. You just got to learn like jack-9. So this one here, I don't know if I'd jack-9 suited. I would call actually, but. So anyways, just trying to learn these spots and slow down the more important stuff. The generic things like these, you just can quickly bang them off. But if you run into a spot, that's why you're here to study, right? So that's I did that one a little fast, but as you can see, it's next to not it's almost not an error. But we'll go for a raise, fold, and then king 5 off. I think we just call. All right, so we're getting some in here. Oh, blunder, eh? So I don't think this is a jam. So the problem is people jam these spots that are calling. You have no fold equity. So when you're doing like a bluff jam, you want to have some fold equity. I don't think we have. I think he would always call from this position. If it was over here, maybe they fold because they're going to open up so much wider. Over here, I think you just call. And then is this guy priced in or not? I think we call. Okay. We're picking up a bit of momentum. The good thing is our blunders haven't really been blunders, like huge leaks, right? And to be honest, pre-flop, if you're an experienced player, you shouldn't have, especially we're not doing the final table ICM. This is all pretty standard. Shouldn't be alarming the more you play. But this is when people look at hands in a vacuum. You really have to know your stack sizes. You really have to know your positions on the table. I do adjust based on my buy-ins. I get a little wider the softer the table is. Say I'm in a $50 tournament and I don't have anyone tagged and I don't play them. That's usually the signs because I play the same sites in a small player pool. I know the players, so if I don't know you, I can get a little more creative versus you. I'm not afraid to play spot post flop, especially in position. So you can mix up hands, and when people aren't going to put you in tough spots, they're going to be kind of just telling you the truth. So say I opened up here and this guy 3-bet me and I didn't know him and it's a small stake tournament, it's like the odds of this being like especially if you use the small bet size, like an advanced play, the odds of that being weak is like he's not going to find like ace-2 suited here, right? So if I raised here and this guy 3-bet me, say he went like, if I raise and he went like 4.5 to 5 big blinds, which is like a pretty good bet size, it would be like, I don't even think jacks like on a $50 buy-in, they're so afraid of a bad beat, they'd want to just jam it. It would be like queens plus, ace king off, and I don't even think ace queen, ace jack. I literally think they're just jamming in those spots, maybe calling, but they're not getting creative with like small 3-bets. That's just the player pool we have in Ontario, and I'm talking small stakes. Now, if you're playing a $500 tournament and you're playing a reg, this is where the leveling war starts happening, right? And people start mixing in those bluffs like king 6 suited or something like that, or like these creative hands, right? So just things to think about: the stakes you're playing, your player history. Do you know them? one thing I think people overreact when they see a hand review. If you don't know the dynamic between those two players and his notes and his history, it can really change your. I thought I was talking. I thought for some reason we were. I thought this guy raised for some reason. I don't even hate a jam here. I actually really don't. I think we are gonna jam it. Let's see. Oh, it's so close. Wow. So look how close that is. So let's go to jams. I'd have to wait till the hand's over. I want to continue as chosen. Let's go back to see all our jams here. So Jack 4 suited wasn't. But look at this. Jack 5 suited was. So we were really close to start thinking of, I wouldn't do Jack 4 off or anything like that, but that suited hands, the fold equity is so high. And if he does call, you have live cards. Like he's not going to be calling with too many fours. You have a chance to get the flush, obviously. Jack's a good blocker for him not to call you with. And then it's going to be a lot of ace X's and broadways and pocket pairs that call you in those spots, right? The fact that we do jam, ace 3 suited is a call. The question is, would you call it ace 3 off? I still think yes, and this would be really player dependent, but I would think high stakes you're always going to call, so we're going to go call. Oh, an air. So that does happen at times, and I don't really know why. You just would get back, you'd go back in the site. We'll do it. It might show you my login. Maybe not though, because we're already logged in. All right, we're back in though. I'm just going to do, we'll do couple of hands here of final table, and then I'll wrap this video up. So here you can pick randomizing, but you can literally just study. If you only want to do 5 players, I can do max 5. Oh look, I already have it set up like that. Or you can do max 9. I wanted to study short poker earlier. I find it more interesting than 9-handed. So you can do equal stacks or online live structure. I'm just going to do this. We'll play just very few. This is where you have to slow down and really think about stack sizes here. Pocket 9s, I would think in real game I wouldn't jam. Using a trainer, it might be a jam. Maybe it's not, because if he goes all in and he goes all in, so we're going to actually do this. So I'll tell you my theory on that was, and it's wrong. My theory was, if we raise here, min raise, and this is what I would do in real game. If this guy goes all in, and not so much this guy. If this guy goes all in, this guy goes all in, depending on the pay jump, you can obviously get away from it, and hopefully this guy is really strong and takes this guy out. But if we raised here, he went all in, and let's go extreme. Let's say all 3 of these guys go all in. You just snap fold, and you have a chance to maybe double ladder. And by all 3 of them going in, I would think it's highly unlikely your 9s are ahead. It'd be like, unless somehow in a crazy world you get like king queen ace king, or king queen ace king, like some kind of scenario where they're all blocking each other. But I would think you're leaning on, you just obviously fold. So that's why I mix in these little min raises instead of panicking jam. They might be thinking, you just get it in. If I was to jam, I still leave a chip behind, just in those scenarios if you want to get away, just for pure laddering up. But that right off the bat, final table strategy is so intriguing. So change decision. They just want you to go max. King Jack suited is very interesting here. Holy moly. I think you fold because how strong this is, even though it looks like a call, but you want to ladder up. I think this is a fold. And look at that. This is a fold. This is how powerful all-ins when it comes to ICM. So chip EV, this guy's calling. Not now. Now here, there's no doesn't incentivize him to gamble versus this. So ICM is extremely interesting. Now here, if this guy had 20 big blinds, you can just jam here because they're both handcuffed. They don't want to get out in third place. So you can't jam now because how deep this guy is. If this guy has the goods here, like, say he's got jacks plus and you jam, all of a sudden you lose a monster chip lead, right? You're tied for second. But you just go for min raise is my guess. Here, you're going to really, really have a wide folding range. And then your suited hands here, you're going to defend here. So ICM kind of really changes things. This is going to be my last hand, guys. I do got to wrap this up. We're going to go for, this is very interesting. We're going to start with a min raise. Here, we're going to fold. Now, if we were deeper here, 40 big blinds, I would do a 3-bet. because of these stack sizes, I'm not going to. But this is where, say, let's go extreme. Say it's 70 or 80 big blinds. I'd be putting this guy in the blender. I'd be clicking it to 4.5. Now, one thing I'm learning, I'm probably 3-betting too much in those spots when you can just flat. If I just call, I'm putting everyone, they're so terrified. And then post flop, this guy is supposed to check. He doesn't want to inflate a pot post flop, right? Especially when this guy's down to that. Like, it would be really, really big punting to get out right now, right? So by just calling, you're putting this guy in a horrible spot. I'm going to fold, but it is interesting. I'm curious, when do you, like, how much do you call? Like, yeah, mixing in a 5-4 suited call, like that's not usually in my game. These other ones are closer to my game, but very interesting, just flatting. I more lean on 3-betting these hands. Like Jack 10 suited, I'm 3-betting all day. But I guess the advantage of just seeing post flop, and it does so well post flop, and you don't want to raise. If I 3-bet, I have to fold to a jam. So that's very interesting. So fold. And then here, with these stack sizes, I'm leaning more to folding a bit more from under the gun. But I think like King 9's too high not to, but I would not be shocked if this is a fold. Yeah, look at that. So I'll end you guys on the loss. If you want to enter the giveaway, just rate any comment in the bottom and I will do a giveaway. And then I will have to give away. I have to find a way to get you. You have to go to the website, sign up for free, and then you give me your email and you will get 1 month of using this site for free. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.